I'm a clinical professor of community health in the Division of Aerospace Medicine. I'm also a research professor in biomedical, industrial, and human factors engineering. My research career basically is in environmental physiology, heat and cold and altitude and all of that, aerospace medicine, and protective clothing has been an interest all along. The current full pressure spacesuit, that's a pressurized envelope that surrounds the astronaut, has been with us since the 1930s. It was designed basically for people flying airplanes and going to high altitude. And that has continued, really that tradition has continued, so therefore you're thinking about a person sitting down and working controls. We now are looking at a person who wants to be mobile, to get up and do things on the lunar surface and on the surface of Mars. That's a very different situation. We want a person who's, as much as possible, unhindered or unhampered by the bulk or the cumbersome nature of a full pressure suit. The current full pressure suit, so-called EMU or extravehicular maneuvering unit, which is what we use with all the shuttle flights, is a suit is quite heavy. That and the portable life support system, the backpack, weighs about 300 pounds. The elastic counterpressure spacesuit, to give it the full name, is a suit for space explorers. It's made of elastic cloth and therefore has no joints. The oxygen is delivered under pressure in a helmet, and the oxygen pressure, breathing under pressure, is balanced by the elastic counterpressure that's applied to the body's surface, so that you have a balance between the breathing pressure and the tissue pressure where the circulation goes on. Some of the advantages of the elastic counterpressure suit. I'll start off easy. It's far simpler than gas-filled full pressure suits. Yet we have equally good protection for the astronaut. In the case of the elastic counterpressure suit, including backpack and an external coverall, would be in the neighborhood of 85 pounds. The difference is 85 pounds to 300. Very important. It costs a lot of money to bring anything up into space. The great thing about the elastic counterpressure suit is its mobility. You have good arm reach, you have good dexterity. The suit is made of elastic cloth, so there are no joints at all. Think about run, hop, skip, scaling a cliff, crawling into a small cave. Those are things you can do in the elastic suit and not in a full pressure suit very easily. In the portable life support system, there's a good deal less oxygen needed because there's almost no leakage involved in the suit, whereas joints and other things in full pressure suits leak a little, and you have to have oxygen to make up for that. The thermal control is not in the backpack. It's a natural physiological process of the body. It's called evaporative heat loss. You don't have any other kind of heat loss when you're out in space. You don't lose or gain heat by convection since there's no air. You don't lose heat or gain by radiation because it's blocked by layers of reflective material on the outside. And the astronaut is essentially in a vacuum bottle. So we take care of that with the one remaining important pathway, which is perspiration. You get rid of your body heat. As soon as the body heat stores a little, it produces enough perspiration to go out to the skin. And since the elastic cloth is perfectly porous and open, it evaporates instantly and you get the cooling effect right then. No machinery involved. It's all controlled by the body's physiology. It's perfect. The thing is safe. This is a safe suit. If you happen to snag yourself on a rock as you go by and rip a hole in the suit, you don't lose any oxygen. You're perfectly ready to go. It would be catastrophic if you punctured the serious puncture of a full pressure suit. You'd lose the gas and you'd be gone. There's low maintenance, which is important because on both the lunar and the Martian surface there's dust. It's pretty fine and very heavy. There's a lot of it. And suits with joints very soon begin to wear and more oxygen leaks than before. And it's quite adaptable. This suit will serve for the lunar exploration or the surface exploration. It will serve for launch and re-entry. It's slightly different versions of the same suit. And it would serve for long transits, like from here to Mars is a long trip. And if you need a standby astronaut in case something goes wrong, is perfectly comfortable to wear for long periods of time. Just to give you a little background, where did this idea come from? Back in the early 1950s, the Air Force developed a partial pressure suit instead of a full pressure suit. Partial pressure suit means a cloth suit where there were tubes running up and down the arms and legs that would tighten the cloth when you lost cabin pressure, and it allowed you to get down from high altitude to 40,000 feet and below, where you could just live on the oxygen. So it worked for three decades. That was the standard military high altitude suit. The elastic counterpressure does exactly the same thing, except we don't use this fancy capstan system for tightening the cloth. The suit is down under tension. The elastic cloth version was an idea I had in the 1960s, and we actually developed and tested it in that period of time. We had some NASA support, and we got to the stage where it was well demonstrated in many ways, comfort and all the rest of it, and a high altitude chamber test at 80,000 feet, which is 20 millimeters of mercury out of the 760 of a 1 atmosphere level. So the proof was there. The history would then have to show that little was done for another 40 years. We were too far ahead of our time. I must tell you, there was disbelief that the thing would work, even though it was perfectly obvious to me and to the testing that we did that it worked fine. And people were satisfied with the gas-filled pressure suit. It was adequate for the job, and it was heavily funded, and that was what NASA did. Textiles have changed enormously since the 1960s until today. Just a world of difference. We have new fibers from which we make new yarns, and we have computer-controlled knitting machines. So you can have an elastic yarn which unusually, this is an interesting property, has high power and full stretch. That doesn't go together normally, but you can engineer that fiber, that fabric. The computer-controlled textile machines are wonderful because you're saving a lot of hand labor, which lowers cost. Most recently, we did make a prototype glove with better materials. You've got good dexterity. You can flick switches. You can pick up small parts. You can have ordinary hand tools. You don't really need to use specially space-modified hardware. You can pick up a pair of pliers or a screwdriver and do your thing. And we tested that in a vacuum chamber, which was done down in Houston at the vacuum chamber at NASA. And we had a couple of guys wearing this new glove in the high vacuum chamber where we got down to 1 millimeter of mercury. That's almost a full vacuum, just nothing left. They wore the thing for an hour, came down, took the glove off, their skin was fine, no problems. Some engineers and physicists at NASA were pretty sure we'd fail, and we didn't. There is a spacesuit establishment. This is not only industry, but also within NASA. They know what they're doing, they've got a way of going, and it's very hard to change your mind to do something so different. So that's a roadblock. I think it can be overcome with the demonstration. I think we can show people that this thing really is a useful idea. We're ready to go right now. We will develop the prototype right off the bat, and we'll test it and demonstrate it in the altitude chamber and with all the physiology and pressure measurements and so forth that we can now do. We have a lot of tools for verifying that the suit is very, very effective. We figure the demonstration prototype will probably take 2 years and cost maybe $3 or $4 million. Under production, we're talking about thousands of dollars. It might be 50 to begin with, it might get down to 25, it's in that neighborhood. So we're interested in spreading the word and hearing from people about funding and partnering perhaps with us to get this thing moving. It's a big enough project that we academics who know how to do this can't do it out of our pockets. We need to work with somebody. I think there would be a good market because of the private space and all of the various programs from around the world. There'll be a market for this. Now is not too early to begin. We're talking 2 years. We're ready to go.